Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. M. Hari Anand. I am handling the subject of structural engineering 2, that is steel structures, for the third year class. So this is our first unit topics. Okay, now, so in the first unit, we are going to discuss about what are the materials, that is steel structures, are available. Okay, now in that types of structural steel, mechanical properties of structural steel, then concepts of plasticity, yield strength, loads, buckling criteria, limit state of design concepts. Okay, now. So those things we are going to discuss. In the second part of the first unit is going to discuss with design of connections. What are the different connections are available in that bolted connection and welded connections. We are going to discuss about it. Okay. So for our textbook, okay, now, so design of steel structures by S.K. Duggal, okay, now, these books you can take it further references, okay, now, and similarly L.S. Jayagopal. So these two books are comes under limit state design, okay. And one more thing, the design of steel structures by M. Shiakar. That book also user friendly. That is, the theory part is very less in these three books. Okay, now only the problematic things are more maximum available. Okay, but if you are going with N. Subramaniam, the theory part will be high. If you want to know the concept more, okay, now that time you can go with N. Subramaniam. Okay. Now let us go to the topic. Okay. So difference between RCC and steel structures that we have discussed. That is the load transfer criteria. Okay. So the load transfer method, but they differ in several factors like material, construction, and durability, etc. Okay. Now, so with respect to material, the RCC have reinforced cement concrete take up the load. Okay. Now, but steel is the material to take up the load. Okay. Now, both are going to take the load. Durability, concrete have high durability, even though the different weather conditions. Okay, now, but the steel have less durability when comparing with the concrete, since it have it can get easily corrosion. Okay, now, so due to adverse environment condition. So that is the issues we are having and we are facing. Okay, now. So in order to avoid that erosion or corrosion, if we are going to apply some special coat over that, okay, now, then automatically the durability will be very high when comparing with the RCC structures. Okay. Next, to resistance to earthquake. Okay, here in earthquake, only the thing we are going to get tensile load enormously. Okay, now, and that too, where we are going to get it, that we didn't do. Okay, now we don't know. So for that, if the concrete, we know that it is good in compression force and weak in tension force when it is going to carry. Okay, now. So automatically, when the earthquake load, the concrete gets immediate failure. But the steel structure, it can take both compression as well as tensile stress more and more when comparing with the RCC. So it can deflect like anything and it won't get collapsed immediately. Okay, now that is the advantage. Then self weight. So self weight of the concrete. Okay, now, so here the self weight is high when compared, the concrete structure is less than steel. Okay, now, since the density, okay, now, the density of concrete RCC, we are going to take it as a 2500. Okay, now, but our steel structure is going to take it 7850. Okay, now, so that is the difference. Okay, kg per meter cube. So because of that, the steel is high and the concrete is less. Okay, now, this statement is wrong. Next to foundation, RCC structure need heavy foundation, but steel structures need lesser foundation. Okay, now labor requirement here, more labor required in RCC structure. In steel structures, less labor required. Construction, it is very slow process in RCC. Okay, now since I already said the slab to slab taken the maximum duration of 14 days. Okay, now because of my one structure, we are going to get 7 days maximum. Okay, now the one slab to another slab construction. Okay, now, but in steel structures, we know that during COVID period, our all the maximum in China they have casted on only 1 day itself. Okay, now, so that is all because of steel structures. Okay, next to fire resistance. So for fire resistance, okay, now the RCC structure have less fire resistance when comparing with the steel. Okay, now corrosion is less in RCC structure. In steel structure, the corrosion is high. Okay, now skilled labor requirement for RCC no need, but steel structures the skilled labors are required. Okay, now where they required means while going for the connections. Okay, now they need skilled labors. Okay, and cost wise, okay, now the RC structure is less in cost, but in steel structure it is more, it is required, we have to invest a high amount. Okay, next, this is the type of steel structures. So here in steel structures, this is the type of structures we have displayed here. Okay, so this is also type of structures. So the individual elements are going to connect with the help of bolted connection or riveted connection or welded connection. So that is depend upon situation. Okay, next, objective. So here we are going to use IS 800 2007. That is for the limit state design has been revised. Okay, now that is has been used from the year of 2007. That's why the IS 800 2007 based on limit state design we have given that. Okay, now then earlier we have used IS 800 1984, that is comes under working stress method. Okay, now so we all know that while go for working stress method, the structure size will be increasing. Okay, now so because of dead weight and the money, the investment will be very high when comparing with our RCC structures. So when we go for working stress method, but later on they introduced limit state design method. So while going for the limit state design method, automatically we can reduce some amount of cross-sectional details. Okay, so that we can achieve more serviceability and more more serviceability requirements. Okay, now so by using that we are going to minimize the cost of investment in the limit state method. Okay, so introduction about structural elements. Okay, structural steels. So steel structure is an assemblage of group of members expected to sustain their share of applied forces. So the main aim is to get the load. Okay, now where we are going to transfer from the top to bottom of the structure and to the ground safely. That we have to ensure first. Okay, now so that is our first constraint. Second one is orientation of the member in the structure and its structural use. The member is subjected to force either axial, bending, or torsion, or combination of thereof. Okay, so here I already said the member can have either compression force, okay, or tension force, or combination of both. All the three forces we can expect. Okay, now the if it is a strut, okay, now then it can carry compression force. Okay, now either the member may be inclined or vertical or whatever it is. If it is vertical, that is column, then we are going to call it as a compression member. Okay, now and another type. In tension member also we are going to call it as a tie member. Okay, now that is going to take only pure tension forces. Okay, now next one is flexural member. So flexural member is nothing but we can have both compression as well as tension force in the particular member itself. So this is subjected to bending force. Okay, now so these are all the members we are going to classify. So based on these member criteria, compression, tension, and the flexural member, we are going to design the member. Okay, next. So steel structures can be divided into principal groups, that is which are depend upon plates, sheets, tanks, bins, chimneys, okay, and framed structures. So applications of steel: high-rise buildings, industrial buildings, transmission towers, railway bridge, overhead tanks, chimneys, bunkers, and silos. Okay, now so maximum you people have seen. Okay, now so in order to distribute, why we are going for these structures now? Main thing, the earthquake force. If it is under seismic zone area, Okay, now heavy seismic zone area. If I'm going to use concrete, then automatically the failure and the loss of life will be more when come, okay, now because of sudden collapse. But if I'm going to use steel structures, no, automatically the stability and durability will be high, which means the structures can bend like anything, but it won't get collapsed due to the high elasticity strength of steel. Okay, now, so because of this, we can save the human life at least. Okay, now, so for this purpose, we are going to have. Next, the specifications and codes. Okay, now IS handbooks, that is properties of steel rolled sections. IS 875 1987. Okay, now 875. These code books are used to have dead load, imposed load, earthquake load, and wind load and snow load. Okay, now this combination we are going to get it from this IS 875. Okay. Next, IS 800 2007. So this code is the for practice of use of structural steel in general building construction. So whatever the general design criteria, that we can get it from the IS 800 2007 with respect to limit state design method. Okay. Next, structural steel. So structural steel is the category of steel construction material that is produced with a particular cross section or shape and some specified values of strength and chemical composition. Okay, here when comparing with our normal steel which we are going to use in the regular life now, in that the structural steel have some different components. Okay, now different chemical constitutions and different physical properties it have. Okay, now since it has to resist more load when comparing with our regular steels. Okay, now since maximum load it is going to transfer through the elements only now, so that's why. So here iron and carbon is the most ingredient in the element in the structural steels. Okay, now so carbon, if I'm going to take more carbon, okay, now automatically the strength taken by the structural steel will be high, but the elasticity nature of the structural steel get reduced. Instead of elasticity, the brittleness nature will get increased. Okay, now so it may get failure at any time. So that we have to use the carbon in the limited amount. Okay, now so while doing the manufacturing they will do all the process. Okay, and the types of structural steel sections. So normally beam section, channel section, flats, angles. Okay, now I will show in the figure. So physical properties of structural steels. So in IS 800 2007 class 2.2.4 page number 12 it is available. Okay, now so density of steels 7850 kg per m cube. Modulus of elasticity 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm squared. Poisson ratio is 0.3 when it is in elastic range. If it is plastic range, then the Poisson ratio value will be 0.5. Okay. Then modulus of rigidity G 0.769 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm squared. Next, coefficient of thermal expansion 12 into 10 to the power minus 6 degrees Celsius. Okay. So these are all the some basic physical properties of structural steel. Next, mechanical properties. So mechanical properties in the sense yield stress, ultimate tensile stress, and ductility, toughness. So ductility, it is property. Okay, now, and Brinell hardness, Vickers hardness, approximate melting point. So it is around 1530 degrees Celsius, so that it can withstand more temperature when comparing with our RCC. RCC, while applying the temperature, now automatically the moisture will get removed from the concrete element. So automatically the internal molecules get crack within it. Okay, now so automatically it lose their strength, but still it won't do happen like this. Normally for RCC around 780 degree, it is a maximum stage. Okay, now to get the failure. Okay, now but for steel the melting stage is 1530 degrees Celsius. So it is more than sufficient even though the fire resistant structure. Okay. Next definition, yield stress or yield strength. So yield load divided by original area of cross section. Okay, now ultimate strength is nothing but ultimate strength divided by ultimate load divided by original area of the cross section. So in UTM we have done now same tensile strength. Okay, now then ductility. It is an important property of steel and it is defined as the capacity of the structure or its members to undergo large inelastic deformation without significant loss of strength or stiffness. So without losing its strength, the maximum deflection it has to reach. So that is nothing but ductility. Uh, so the ductility of steel is measured by determining the percentage of elongation of the test specimen. So the percentage of elongation is equal to elongated length minus gauge length divided by total gauge length. So this is nothing but our yield strength, okay, na percentage of elongation. So by using that formula, you are going to cast it strain formula, okay. Whereas gauge length is equal to 5.65 root under A. So A is equal to cross-sectional area of the specimen. Okay, next toughness is defined as the capacity of to absorb energy. It is the capacity to absorb energy. It is a measure of the ability of the steel to resist fracture under impact loading. So whenever I am going to apply the impact load, at the time, how much it is going to take without any failure. Okay, now, so that is called toughness. So where we are going to use or where we are going to get the impact load means on bridges and the structures due to earthquake loads. Okay. Next, concepts of plasticity. So elasticity in the sense we have stress strain curve for the mild steel rod now. So it should be like this. Okay. So up to this region, we can the specimen can regain its original positions. Okay, even after removing the applied load. Okay, now but if it is beyond this, okay, now automatically it's going for failure. Okay, now and it won't regain its original position. Okay, now so this phenomenon is called as plasticity. Okay, so elasticity is ability to regain the shape on removal of external force or external loads. Plasticity, member undergo permanent or plastic deformation at constant load. That is the term is called plasticity. Okay, now so it won't regain its original position after removal of load is known as plasticity. Okay. So why we have to go for plasticity? So I already said steel have good elasticity nature. Okay, now so even from a stress strain relationship we can say, so up to this it can take more load and it's regain its original position after removal of load. Okay, now then after also it can take more load in comparing with RCC specimen. Okay, now so this is our ultimate strength. Even after ultimate strength, the failure will take some time. Okay, now so that is the advantage. So because of this, the plasticity nature of the steel are going to use. Okay, now and even though the transformation from elastic to plastic, that stage we are going to utilize properly, since while going for the after the transformation from the elastic to plastic, there will be some display. Okay, now such that we can able to understand the structure is getting failure soon. Okay, now like that we are going to have some visible identification. Okay, now so because of that, that is due to the large deflection. So okay, now by observing that we can save the entire structure. Okay, now by replacing the sections or by supporting the sections. Okay, now so those things we can adapt easily in the steel structures, but we cannot use those things in the concrete structures. So that is the advantage here, advantage of plasticity. Then intro to plastic analysis and design. So steel has unique physical properties such that ductility, because of which it is able to absorb large deformation beyond the elastic limit. without fracture. So this is the advantage of steel. Okay, now so it can bend like anything, even though if it reaches the plastic nature. Okay, now so it can take more deflection while applying the load without any failure. Okay, now so that is the advantage. That is the property, ductility of the steel. Okay, now next, due to this property, steel possesses a reserve of strength beyond its yield, as is evident from the stress strain curve of mild steel. Okay, now so that I have explained in the previous slide itself. Okay. So next, plastic design is an aspect of the limits design that extends the structural usefulness up to the plastic strength or ultimate load carrying capacity. So because of this plastic strength, we can attain the maximum usage of structural element. Okay. The other terms refer to the plastic method of design or limit state design or limit state of collapse method of design and ultimate load design. Okay. Then advantage of structural steel. Okay, it has high strength per unit weight. Okay, now so it can take more load. Okay, now the structural steel is highly ductile. So I said because of ductility, it can take more load even it attain the plastic stage and doesn't remove the load. Okay, now then the structural steels are tough. That is, they have both strength as well as ductility. Okay, the steel has uniform property as its machines made. Okay, now so mostly the sections are going to made by machines. Okay, now so that the uniformity through the cross section will be same for the entire length. So that is the advantage. Okay. Next, structural steel. Why we are going to say this one as advantage now, uniform property. You just think about our RCC structures. Okay, now so we are going to casting. Okay, now in the casting situ. Okay, now what we are going to, sometimes we are going to add some more percentage of cement. Sometimes we are going to add some water content. Okay, now so because of the unevenness, okay, now we won't get uniform property throughout the length, but still we are going to manufacture in the industry. Okay, now all are machine made, so automatically the uniformity will be carried throughout the length. So that is the advantage. Okay. Then next, structural steel is highly versatile. So versatile means we can easily make the connections. Okay, now so we can easily construct the elements or building. Okay, now so that is called highly versatile. Next, sixth one is structural steel is recyclable and it can be reused. Okay, now so think about it. If I have constructed the RCC building, definitely I won't reuse that one. Okay, now only I have to go for demolition. Okay, now so even if I am demolishing, I am going to use only the core fabricate. Nowadays we are using some researches. Okay, now but steel structures, if along with the bolted connection, means if I'm going to remove the bolt, automatically I can get the same sections without any damage, and I can use it for some other purposes. Okay, so that is the advantage of steel sections. Okay, so next, prefabrication. So prefabrication is nothing but we are going to cast before going to the site itself. So that will be very easy in steel structures. Okay, now, but in RCC it will be tedious process. Okay. Next, structural steel members are gas and watertight because of its high density. So that is our main advantage. Okay, now while I'm telling in RCC, if we have while during a vibration, okay, now if anything moisture or anything bubbles formed, that will affect the strength of the particular member. But if I'm going with steel, automatically there will be no gas formation or moisture formation, and the structure should be watertight. So because of that, it can take more load and the failure will take for long time duration. Okay, now next, to properly maintained steel structures have a long life. Okay, now I already said the main thing is corrosion. Okay, now in the adverse end condition like seesaw construction or something. Okay, now So at that place, if I'm going to use some proper remedial activities, okay, now that is applying the over some materials, okay, now paint or something, okay, now then automatically the structure have long life when comparing with our RCC, okay, now then additions and alterations can be made easily. So that I already said, if it is bolted connection, I can remove it easily and I can use it for some other purpose. Same way, if I am going to alteration, okay, now I can easily do the sections, okay, now. So by bolted connection or welded connection, whatever it may be. But in RCC, it can't, okay, now. So the stresses will be increasing if I'm going to randomly do any alteration in the RCC structures. But in steel structures, this is the another advantage, okay. Next, disadvantage. The main thing I said, corrosion. Okay, now, so if it is going for a corrosion or a seesaw area, definitely the corrosion is the important thing. So I have to apply some remedial coat. So because of that remedial coat, the cost of the structure will be increasing furthermore. Okay, now, and the maintenance, periodic maintenance will they have to do as a some periodic manner, okay, now. So this is the disadvantage. And the second one, steel has high thermal conductivity, okay, now. So this is the thing, that is, if anything short circuit or something happening now, so it will give more damage to the entire structure. So that is the issues we can have in the steel. And fatigue, okay, fatigue is one of the major drawbacks. So if it is reaches the plastic stage now, the fatigue stage will reach, okay, now. So that may have some issues in that. Then cost is high. So we already know that the cost is very high in regular construction, okay, now. If I am going to use a steel, that is 6 mm, 10 mm, that rod now, we are going to purchase around for 54,000, okay, now, per ton. But if I'm going for RCC, I can get it for some 5 mm cube minimum 8,000, sorry, maximum the rate of 8,000 with respect to grade, okay, now. So this is the cost comparison with respect to steel and RCC. So that cost will reflect in the entire structures, okay, now, while constructing. That is, investment will be very high if I'm going to construct with structural steel, okay. Next is steel sections. So different steel sections. There are rolled steel sections we are going to use, okay. So what are all those rolled steel sections, okay. So with respect to shape, okay, now, with respect to cross section, we can have different roll section such that it is going to made readily available in the market and our frequent demand. Such steel sections are known as regular steel section, okay, now. By using rolled mill section, we are going to cast or we are going to manufacture the particular elements, okay. So some steel sections are not used commonly, but such sections can be made out in steel mills. Such steel sections are known as special sections. So regular section and special sections. Okay, now. So rolled section we are going to use in the regular construction, and it have, with respect to the shape and size, the structural rolled sections are classified. Okay, now. So rolled steel section have carbon content up to maximum 2%. Okay, now that is carbon steel, and in which carbon content is more than 2% is known as cast iron. Okay, now. So cast iron pipes where we are going to use now in water pipe carrying sections. Okay, now those places we are going to use. And structural steel, okay, now carbon steel that we are going to use in our regular construction, okay, now construction of buildings. So types of structural steels. So this is the common image, that is common cross section we are going to use. I section, wide flange, okay, now, and American standard beam, normal I section, channel section like C shape, angle section, T section, then circular pipe section, then structural tube section, then bars, rectangular and circular, and plates, okay, now. So these are all the some common structural steel sections available in the market to use our buildings. So normally the wide flange standard section and this channel section I'm going to use, if I'm going to cast with a double channel, then I can get the I section. Okay, now this will be called as built-up section. Okay, now like this. So these sections are going to use for beam section, for a beam element or column element. Okay, now these angles, channels, T's are going to use for the truss elements, to cast the truss element, and these tubular sections like a pipe section or tubular sections. Okay, now this will be used for to make the column sections. Okay, now this is composite columns. So in the steel inside the steel section, they are going to use the concrete. Okay, now so that to make the composite member, we can use this steel hollow sections. Okay, now next to bars. So we know that our conventional bar, like a circular cross section, we are using in RCC. Okay, now plate, where we are going to use plate. So plates we are going to use in the structural elements such that slabs are in between that. Okay, now so this is the some different types of, even with the help of plate, we can cast our flange section, that is our beam section or column section, like that. Okay, so these are all the some structural steel sections which we are using commonly in our field. So this is the image source for our sections. T-bar, L-angle, HSS, that is hollows, structural tube sections, wide flange, I-beam, channel section.